let's look at some of the greatness that we've known and lost. They said that we could have done a better job. They're trying to placate people that are upset with the rebranding. First of all, I'm glad I'm not a Cracker Barrel stockholder because they're feeling it already. Look at how the mighty have fallen. Was the entire point of this just to get rid of the old man? This is the Ricky Cobb Show, presented by Prize Picks. Preseason football underway and college football is here. Head on over to Prize Picks. Don't miss any of the action this season. Cracker Barrel's rebranding that has gone over like a lead balloon. And Cracker Barrel catching it from everywhere with this rebranding that they've done. And if you've been online at all over the course of the last week, you know what I'm talking about. But I do think, in a serious point of view, first of all, I'm glad I'm not a Cracker Barrel stockholder. I will say that because they're feeling it already. The Bud Light Jaguar backlash has been in full effect for Cracker Barrel since they scrapped their logo of Uncle Herschel that goes all the way back until 1977. I didn't even know that that was this motherfucker's name. But now I know that he's Uncle Herschel. And he got kicked right off of the logo in favor of a logo that a lot of people are saying has no soul, but this is no surprise, really. When you look around at other familiar, popular chains of restaurants around the country, look at how the mighty have fallen, my friends. McDonald's of your childhood, McDonald's of today. Pizza Hut of your childhood, Pizza Hut of today. And that's a really good Pizza Hut of today, by the way. Because all the Pizza Huts I see here in the Chicago suburbs are takeout only in strip malls. Cracker Barrel, that many people know and love, antiseptic rebranded Cracker Barrel. Taco Bell used to be a thing of beauty. Taco Bell now, just another building. And I don't know what happened to aesthetics in this country. We've talked about it with cars, and I know gas mileage is everything and safety is everything, but you notice when you're out on the highway and you see a car that was built in the 70s or even the 80s, further back you go, the more distinctive they were. And the further back you go looking at restaurants in this country, the more distinct that they were. Cracker Barrel with a self-inflicted wound here, and they have issued a statement now addressing what they've done, carefully worded, and I'm sure that this was gone through 180 edits in order here. A lot of words there, and I'm not even going to attempt to recap what all of these words say. Basically, they say, too long, didn't read. We're sorry. We hope that you'll still love us. Uncle Herschel's still going to be around in the store, but we're not really going to do anything else. They're trying to placate people that are upset with the rebranding, but there's no indication that they're going to do anything else. They said that we could have done a better job. We fucked up, is basically what they said. But there's no indication that they're going to reverse course. We fucked up. We hope you still love us. Let's move on into the fucked up future, is basically what it said. They made a point in there of saying that they were still going to have the wooden pegs with golf tees. There you go. And as I've tweeted, one of the most time-honored traditions of going to a Cracker Barrel, one that children and adults alike can agree upon, is the frustration of trying to play that game and not come out as an ignoramus. Ignoramus there is at the bottom. I'm going to tell you that I've gotten that result more than once or twice. As they were seated at Cracker Barrel, Mom and the kids silently braced for Dad losing this game, and well, he wasn't going to lose it once or twice. He was going to lose it about 9 times in a row until dinner was ruined for everyone. But at least you're still going to have that opportunity if you still go to Cracker Barrel. There are things that I miss. Let's look at some of the greatness that we've known and lost. with other restaurant chains around this great land. I've said it about Pizza Hut many times. One of the most popular, most shared, retweeted things that I've ever posted at Super 70 Sports was about what Pizza Hut was like back in the day. They bring out that skillet. It was piping hot. It was a hazard. Parents had to hold their children back because you were going to burn the roof of your mouth at best, and you wanted to make sure that no little fingers got burned on that skillet either. This motherfucker needs to go to Pizza Hut and explain to somebody in corporate that if they start building 1985 style Pizza Hut restaurants again, the people will come, Ray. The people will come. They'll come for reasons that they don't even know. No, actually, in this case, they'll come for reasons that they do know. They'll come for reasons such as, I want to play Galaga. I want to play some cocktail table Pac-Man. I want to get over to the jukebox and play some songs. And I want a delicious hot pizza that was made in an actual fucking skillet moments before. If you do that, you cure a lot of problems, Pizza Hut. But we moved into the future, and now Pizza Hut really has no real identity, and McDonald's is doing all they can to scrub their own identity. There's nothing soulful about going into a McDonald's. Remember the outdoor playgrounds? They were a thing of beauty. You had decorations all over the place, both inside and out. I certainly remember those days. Now you got the play area, but I don't know. In the post-COVID world, I kind of think that a lot of people are wanting to phase out even the indoor play areas that were a mere shadow of what we once had when I was a kid. How about Wendy's? I used to like to go to Wendy's and scout out a spot in the Wendy's greenhouse. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Head over there, sun blazing in on you as you enjoyed the goddamn Dave Thomas special. That's what dining at Wendy's used to be for me. Now you go to Wendy's, it's not as special as it used to be. Long John Silver's, we talked about it on the program last week, but we can look at this first. Ain't this the truth as well? We could include sports logos in it too. Cracker Barrel fans, Miami Dolphins fans, feel your pain. And God help you if you are both a Cracker Barrel and a Miami Dolphins fan, because you got a double shot of suck with this. How they thought that the new logo for Cracker Barrel was going to be better than the one that they had. Was the entire point of this just to get rid of the old man? It feels like the point of it was to get rid of the old man, and now you've replaced it with something that could have been a logo for anything. Cracker Barrel could be anything if you didn't know when you look at that, what we've been left with. And anybody could have made it in ChatGPT or Canva or whatever. In fact, just about anybody in the world could have done better using whatever freely available software that there was. And while we're at it, the Miami Dolphins should go back to the dolphin in the helmet. Some people thought that a dolphin wearing a helmet was stupid. You know what I think stupid? People that think that it's okay for dolphins to get concussions is what I think. Of course he needed a helmet. Dolphin CTE is a real thing too, my friends. In fact, this did indeed used to be a proper country. You show me a baseball team full of guys wearing ginormous collars and a clown solemnly holding his little funny clown hat to his heart as he listens to the national anthem being played, and I'll show you a country that's won multiple world wars, motherfucker. You know who needs to talk to the CEO of Cracker Barrel? She ought to have to walk her way out of the people's court of public opinion, where she'll be met by Doug Llewellyn in the lobby, and then he can make her feel like she's a stupid piece of shit on her way out, like he used to do with all of the defendants. That was the best part. You'd lose and you'd come out, Doug Llewellyn would treat you like you had a functioning IQ of 48. I always wanted somebody to karate chop Doug Llewellyn on their way out. You know, you're having a bad enough day without Doug coming up and giving you his commentary on how shitty your day is. But first, let's talk about Long John Silver's here. Get that up, because this might be the best example, Tim. Might be my prime example of all of them. It's right up there. I guess Pizza Hut is the number one example, but Long John Silver's isn't far behind. Remember when you go to a Long John Silver's when you were growing up and they had just you boarded a Long John Silver's. They had those thick ropes along the outside. It was like you were coming up a pier, walking along that fake fucking pier just to get inside and order some chicken planks or some peg legs. Really let the entire dining experience an exotic air of piracy as far as my 9-year-old self was concerned. Now, if you're lucky enough that you find a Long John Silver's, it's half KFC or half A&W or something. It's just sharing the microphone like Springsteen and Little Steven. Can't even get its own gig where it's just fucking fish in one place. That's how far that Long John Silver's has fallen. So Cracker Barrel is hoping to find a better long-term fate than that, but it'll remain to be seen how the Cracker Barrel enthusiasts are going to feel once their emotions have percolated down a little bit. Will they be able to continue on enjoying, or is there going to be an exodus that they can't recapture? We'll have our eyes on it for you, but let's talk now about where our eyes are going to be coming up in just a short while, where our eyes already are. They're already on college football, and they're going to be on professional football as well next week as things get going. And Prize Picks is the place to go in order to turn your knowledge of football into real money. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. It could be Saquon Barkley's yardage total for the season. Maybe you've got an opinion on how many touchdown passes your favorite NFL quarterback is going to throw this year. You just do things like that, make your picks, and then if you are right in your more or less assessment, you can cash in and you can win up to 2,000 times your money. Yeah, that's right. 2,000 times your money. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds. Turn your opinion into real money with Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today and use my code Ricky. That is RICKY, and you will get $50 in lineups to use once you have played your first $5 lineup. It's as simple as that. Sign up with Prize Picks, use my code Ricky, and you're going to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. And certainly some folks were very likely winning money on Prize Picks yesterday as the Tour Championship wrapped up the PGA Tour season. The FedEx Cup champion has been crowned, and the winner, Tommy Fleetwood, finally breaks through. For those of you that are pretty big golf fans, you know that Tommy Fleetwood is a Ryder Cup star for Europe, a guy who has won multiple times on the European Tour, the DP World Tour. He's a guy who has a high world ranking, but he had never been able to get it across the finish line yet on the PGA Tour. He had a close call. He lost the Canadian Open in a playoff. He got edged out by Keegan Bradley earlier this year on a Sunday, but he holds it together, pulls through, and claims his first PGA Tour victory, and he does it at a time that was a great time to do it, because with the victory, with the new FedEx Cup format, the winner of the Tour Championship is also the FedEx Cup champion. So Tommy Fleetwood now with one career PGA Tour victory and one FedEx Cup to his name. And nothing against Tommy Fleetwood, who I like quite a bit. He's the long-haired guy with a beard on the PGA Tour, so I got to be on his side. He seems like an exceptionally nice guy. I've been a Tommy Fleetwood fan for a long time, and every time he's flirting with victory, I've been pulling for him, and I'm glad to see him win. So this has nothing to do with Tommy Fleetwood personally. But I think you got to do something about this format. Something about the format has to be done here. It started out, the FedEx Cup points were a mathematical problem that was on the level of what Zach Galifianakis was considering in the casino in Hangover. And people couldn't follow it. It was hard to understand. The leader of the tournament was not the leader of the FedEx Cup. And so we're getting all these updates on the screen. You needed a telestrator, a calculator, an abacus, a Bible. There was no way for people to understand it. So finally they decided, screw that. What we're going to do now is we are going to start people off already under par relative to where they were on the season. And then Scotty Scheffler is so fucking good already. You want to start Scotty Scheffler 10 under par at the beginning of a tournament and then watch him just choke the life out of the rest of the field? People decided, well, that's not right. The winner of the Tour Championship hasn't even been the person who had the lowest score for the tournament with the staggered starting score. So people didn't like that. And now they've just gone back to the way that it was. The Tour Championship is the Tour Championship. And we're just going to say, okay, hey, here, while you're walking away with your hardware, grab the FedEx Cup too. As I tweeted, I like Tommy Fleetwood. And I do. I'm a Tommy Fleetwood fan. But the FedEx Cup means less than nothing when somebody with 0 career victories comes in, gets their first career victory on the tour, and they get the FedEx Cup championship with it. Because what is it really representing? I mean, I think we have to decide what it is. And honestly, at this point, I don't think the FedEx Cup has any relevance. I really don't. Because Scotty Scheffler won 5 tournaments this year, and he won 2 majors. There is no world in which having 5 victories and 2 majors should be completely negated by a guy getting his first win ever just at the right time. It's a tournament. People say, well, it's a playoff. Technically, it's a playoff. I had somebody on the internet yesterday say to me, well, that's how playoffs work, and called me not a very nice name in saying it. But you can't really have playoffs in golf like you have playoffs in other sports. And so to come down to the last tournament of the year and just say whoever wins the last tournament of the year is the season champion, it doesn't make any fucking sense, is what it doesn't make. So I can't even take the FedEx Cup seriously anymore. It's always been a contrived thing. But if all you want is excitement at the end, see, this is the thing the English Premier League gets right, in my opinion. Back in the old days of Major League Baseball, you had teams in each league. There were no divisions. The team that won each league won the league. And yeah, maybe it was over in September. Maybe you were 10 games ahead in September and that was it. But at least the team that deserved it won. But because now everything's about television and everything's about creating contrived drama and suspense, you can't let anybody get too far ahead, or else, well, why would anybody want to tune in to see who's going to win the FedEx Cup? But once the FedEx Cup doesn't fucking matter and it's just whoever wins the last tournament, why does anybody care about tuning in for that? Yeah, you've created suspense. You've made sure that we're not going to know who the winner's going to be until the very, very end of the year. But what are they really winning? Because there's nobody that thinks that Tommy Fleetwood had the best year that anybody had on the PGA Tour. And if the FedEx Cup isn't meant to at least sniff that distinction, I'm not sure why we even have a season-long points race. What's it for? Why do we keep track of FedEx Cup standings? If Scotty Scheffler's got to get there, and if he doesn't win the tournament, he's going to lose the FedEx Cup to somebody who had an inferior year. And in the case of Tommy Fleetwood, a year that you can't even compare. Now, with that said, I am happy for Tommy Fleetwood. Justin Rose tweeting out, among the many, wishing Tommy Fleetwood well and giving him support. And you can see here, that's a good friend, Justin Rose. Major Champion, the guy who just lost the Masters in a playoff this year, says, "This felt as good as winning myself. So happy for my man Tommy Fleetwood for enduring the relentless pressure cooker his quality golf has put him in during these playoffs, and there's no more deserving champ." Well, there's no more deserving champ if the champion is just the winner of the Tour Championship, because Tommy Fleetwood shot the lowest score and he went out there and he won it. So congratulations to Tommy Fleetwood on a hard-earned victory and for shaking off the demons of some Sundays that were very close and didn't go his way. After the big victory, he sat down and faced the media. And if you don't know much about Tommy Fleetwood, if you're not familiar, this clip is going to give you a real good idea of why so many people hold him in such high esteem.
You say, why do people like me so much? I've always been very lucky that I make a great connection with people. I try and be, if I could give myself, if I could give my kids one piece of advice, I mean, there's tons of advice, but I always tell them to be a good person first. And I've always tried to do that. My dad always told me that, even when I was an aspiring young amateur golfer, professional golfer. He always wanted me to be, he always said person first, golfer second. You know, you're a good person first. Whatever happens after that, you know, you try and be a good golfer second. I've always tried to be that.
Good advice for anyone there, for sure. And Tommy Fleetwood certainly seems to be a good person. He is now also $10 million richer and off the schneid on the PGA Tour win list. And with that, I'm going to welcome to the program the international streaming star who joins me from Nashville, Tennessee, a man now who might be the best player who doesn't have a win on the PGA Tour. I speak, of course, of Ronnie T-shirts. And Ronnie, this Cracker Barrel story just won't go away, will it?
No.
This is one that they so desperately wish that they could just flip the switch on, turn the page, move on, leave it behind them. That's what that press statement was intended to do. And I got a real strong inclination, Ronnie, that it's not going to work.
Doesn't this feel a lot like New Coke back in the 80s?
Yeah, there's some shades of New Coke here.
Like, feels a lot like it, right? Like, what are you doing? Like, and the backlash was just crazy. And then, of course, you know, there's all the conspiracy theorists that thought that it was just genius marketing by Coke, that they did it on purpose because they knew that they were going to get the backlash. And they'd, you know, come in on their white horse and they'd save the day and say, "Oh, we're going to go back." But yeah, I mean, it's funny because I was just thinking about this while you were talking about it. And you had mentioned that you had been to a Cracker Barrel, what, 3 times in your life?
Oh, I've been a lot more than that. Just in the last 10 years, I've maybe been 3 times.
Because I'm just trying to think about
get dragged there more frequently when I was.
I'm just trying to think about when the last time I was at a Cracker Barrel, and I think it'd be super interesting, especially from all the people that are up in arms. Like, how often have they actually been to a Cracker Barrel lately? You know, I don't know, last 2, 3, 4, 5 years, because I don't even know the last time I've been there. So, you know, any opinion that I give is just, you know, kind of more of a business opinion on how they're handling it. I do think it's pretty interesting. So I actually looked it up. Do you know what a Cracker Barrel is? It's a thing. It's the reason they named it Cracker Barrel was back in the old days, they used to deliver crackers in a barrel, and it was the water cooler of the day. So people would just kind of gather around and so it makes perfect sense to be called the Cracker Barrel. And they like totally took that away. So I just think it's just really dumb. Like, I think it's a dumb move to take like that kind of homey country kind of experience away from people, because it is, man, it's so sterile now. Like you were saying, it was they made the logo on Canva or something. I mean, it looks like they made the logo on Microsoft Art from like 1998. Like, it's like a 5th grader could have easily done that logo. But again, I said it last week, Ricky. The one great part about being in this country is you can make dumb decisions. You can make dumb business decisions. You can make dumb personal decisions. You get to do whatever you want, and you will see what happens, because what do I say? The market speaks.
Ron, You know what else you can do? You can make good decisions as well. And
You can.
unlike Cracker Barrel, we have made one as a show because you can find us now on YouTube. We've got our own channel. It's The Ricky Cobb Show. Simple as that. So don't miss anything that we post because we're going to have not only complete episodes going up on the Ricky Cobb Show YouTube channel, but we will also have clips from the show, shorts from the show. We're going to be filling the archives with content from over the past first year of the program, and you'll be able to find it all conveniently in one place. So get over to the Ricky Cobb Show on YouTube. Click subscribe. We're starting a new era here, and we couldn't be more excited about it. Ronnie, maybe Cracker Barrel just needs to create some Cracker Barrel classic locations. That worked for Cobb. Do you think?
Yep.
Do you think we're going to go old school once in a while? I don't know. Ron, here's one for you. Let's talk a little college football and human interest as well here. Hawaii
always talk college football.
Take a look at this. Hawaii has a kicker. He's from Japan. This is a Japanese kid who came over here, obviously no background in football, from Japan, taught himself how to be a kicker, and just hit a game winner there to get the season underway for the Hawaii program there. His name is Kansei Matsuzawa, Ron, and he certainly looks like he has learned. He learned from YouTube videos. Taught himself how to be a kicker.
Yeah, and then he went to a JUCO in Ohio for a couple of years. That's where he actually kind of perfected his craft.
And now here we are.
He looks I like him too. He's kind of cocky. Did you see that? Just the way after he made that kick?
Yeah.
Just the way he backed up.
Look at that. Took down Stanford 23-20 with that one that he put through the uprights. Becoming fascinated with football on a vacation to the United States, and he is, look at that, special teams player of the week. 3 of 3 on field goals, including the game winner. Yeah.
How crazy is that game, Ricky? A team from the ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference, went all the way to Hawaii for a game. Crazy times we live in. Think about that.
Yeah. How wild is it that the team that went there from the Atlantic Coast Conference is in the Atlantic Coast Conference?
Yep.
There's a lot to digest here. Ronnie, here's another one for you, and this is one that I know that you had flagged for us to talk about today. We're going to go ahead and go to the tape. This is Phoenix Mercury star Satu Sabali, Ron, and she is talking about how the WNBA just doesn't care about the players.
Terrible. That's my only comment on it. It's like they don't care about player safety. It's like they don't care about scheduling or whatever. And I mean, I only mentioned that one time in the beginning of the season, and I know people always love to come and say, oh, you guys want to get paid more, you guys need to play all these games, but at some point there's a sports science to it. And it's honestly just like game on game on game on game. So we play tomorrow, and we're professional, and we'll do it.
All right, Ron, you flagged this obviously because it struck a nerve with you, at least.
Because it made me laugh.
Give me your thoughts on this, man. The one thing I will say, and I'm trying not to go after the WNBA players quite as hard as some are. I mean, some people are just, boom, they're going after them.
I feel like you're pointing at me right now.
Maybe a little bit, Ron. And I try to hold back some, but man, do they complain a lot.
Dude.
They just complain and complain and complain. Now it's too many games.
No, back-to-backs. We have to play back-to-backs. How are we going to take it? Oh my gosh. We have to play.
I thought we wanted equality, Ron. I thought we wanted equality.
Exactly.
I thought everything that they talk about is how they want equality.
Dude,
Treat
They
us
play
like
half
you
the
treat
games.
the successful league.
They play half the games that the NBA
They play
plays.
half the games.
And now they're bitching about
there's-
this. Sometimes they have to
yes.
play back to back. Like, oh my gosh, we have to play 2 games in a row.
And
like, come on.
Their season is about 2/3 as long. All right. I did a little back of the envelope math here.
Okay.
All right. When you take the 82 games that the NBA plays and you divide it out over the length of their regular season, and then you take the 44 games, which is more than it was a 40-game season. Now it's a 44-game season because they're like, oh, wow, Caitlin Clark's here. Everybody came out of their coma. Let's play more games.
Right.
All right. So they added 4 games to it. They still play fewer games per week. According to the math that I have, NBA teams average about 3.3 games a week. WNBA teams average about 2.5, 2.6. So they are not playing, I'm sure they play some back-to-backs, but they're not playing as many, and they're not playing as many games as NBA teams do. So for me, if you want to start saying now that you're playing too many games when you're already playing less than the NBA, then stop comparing yourself to the NBA when it's convenient and suits your selfish arguments.
I just love it when they say that they work just as hard as NBA players and they practice just as hard and they want it just as much. And because of that, they should get paid the same. I mean, these people are insane, Ricky. Like, I mean, I'm not the first person to say this, but it's how many fannies are in the seat. It's how much people pay for advertising. It's like, that's all it is. And it's clearly not on the same level. I mean, I would say, I'm equal with I don't watch the NBA and I don't watch the WNBA. So I'm equal for them. But when they come out here and they bitch about the schedule, like, absolutely unbelievable. I mean, there's some pro sports leagues like professional lacrosse, some things like that, where they play this game because they love it. And they also have real jobs, Ricky, and they're still doing that. So I don't know. They just, somebody's gaslighting them to think that they're more, I guess, important than they are. I don't know. It just, to me, it's ridiculous.
I understand that they want to make everything they can make. Everybody in any job, if you thought that you could say some comments in your defense of why you're worth more than you actually are and your employer would actually give you that, everybody would probably be willing to make that argument, right? So I don't fault them for trying to get everything they can get, but it's so.
But you don't want to sound ridiculous when you're doing it, Ricky. Like, if you go to your boss, you want to have some rationale for, like, hey, listen, this is why I think I should be paid more. It's because of this, and this. And I also think that, you're expecting way too much from me for what you're paying me right now. And here's why. But when you just come out and you start spouting nonsense, it just, again, Charlie Brown's teacher, womp, 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 womp.
Yeah, I'm not sympathetic when everything is a complaint. It's the officiating. Mm-hmm. We play too many games, this, that, the other. So anyway,
focus too much on Caitlin Clark.
Ronnie. Yes, the jealousy aspect of it. And if Caitlin Clark didn't get attention, they would be complaining about how nobody ever gives the league attention.
Right.
Caitlin Clark comes along, shines a light on the league. We don't like who's
that attention.
Flashlight.
We don't want that attention.
You're right. We don't want that attention. We all want to be on the cover of the magazine, as the Washington Mystics owner said. Why can't everybody
can we all be the player of the year?
This fall, you're not just watching the biggest game in college football. You're at the game.
Bama versus Georgia.
September 27th, Athens.
Outkick's giving one lucky fan and a guest a VIP treatment.
This is your shot
to punch your ticket to the college football weekend of a lifetime.
Flights covered.
Hotel covered.
Game tickets, of course. We're also hooking up 10 more fans with Outkick hats. And everyone who enters gets a discount to the Outkick shop.
No purchase necessary.
Just hit outkick.com/sweepstakes.
College football weekend of a lifetime. Outkick.com/sweepstakes.
Well, you know what, Ronnie? That's not how life works. And we're about to demonstrate that, because one of the most prestigious honors that anybody can win on any weekday in this great land. We're about to unload it. And guess what? There can't be everybody winning. There can only be one when it's time for America's Poll of the Day. Let's go to it now. It's Super 70 Sports on X where the Eagle flies high. And oh my God. Woo! There he goes, just like Ric Flair with wings, dropping off for us 4 tasty options, Ron. And let's waste no time getting to it. We will begin with the Seattle Supersonics. Long one of my favorite teams. I enjoyed the Supersonics for many, many years, and I still can't quite get over the fact that they've been gone now for what? We're getting up pushing, what are we pushing, 20 years? Are we in the 20-year range now? Yeah. I think we are, which is hard to believe. Secondly, we've got Willie Nelson, who is still out there. I think Willie's in his early 90s now.
Still smoking weed.
One of the quintessential outlaws. Obviously, the marijuana has given him powers of longevity. Third, we've got ice cream sandwiches. And fourth, we have finding money in the laundry. When you catch a stray bill or two that were folded up in a pair of britches, Ron, or whatever the case might be, break it down for me as only you can.
Seattle Supersonics. Phenomenal logo. Absolutely phenomenal logo. Phenomenal colors to go with that phenomenal logo. Slick Watts, Downtown Freddie Brown.
Truth.
Jack Sikma. I mean.
Gus Williams. Dennis Johnson. Go get me started.
Yeah. I mean, Lenny Wilkins.
Marvin Webster. Yeah, Lenny Wilkins.
But, I mean, it is for me, Ricky, it's Slick Watts and that headband. That's, to me, my brain goes to Slick Watts when I hear about the Seattle Supersonics. Willie Nelson, I always say sometimes there's people I'm never gonna seek their music out, but when it comes on, I'll listen to it because I like it. Willie Nelson is not one of those. Not a fan of Willie Nelson.
That's not the direction that I thought you were going, Ron.
That's why I was
prepared for you to just toss out
something. Set it up that way, Ricky.
That's nice about Willie Nelson. You kind of caught me off guard there with that one.
Why set it up that way? Ice cream sandwiches. Now, there's the basic ice cream sandwich, which is just it's the rectangle and it's got the kind of the chocolate thing. And I love those. Like, I absolutely love those. But I really, really like kind of when they take the M&M's cookie or chocolate chip cookie, or when we were in Augusta, that peach ice cream with the sugar cookies were just absolutely phenomenal.
You like them tricked up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and no, in the food industry, we say elevated, Ricky. We like them elevated.
Okay. Well,
I watch too much diners, drive-ins, and dives when we talk about elevating the food.
They should have consulted with you at Cracker Barrel before they went forward, Ron.
1,000,000% they should have.
You could have explained to them that was not elevation.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, come on, Ricky. Who doesn't like finding money in the laundry? Or, the best one is the fall or the winter jacket that you haven't worn for 6 months, and then it gets a little chilly outside, and you're like, yes, finally it's fall. And you're so excited, and then you get that extra, like, oh my God, there's a 20 in my pocket. So that's awesome too. But I am going to go. I'm going to go ice cream sandwiches. Finding money in the laundry, number 2. Sonics 3.
All right, well, let's bring in producer Tim here and get his view on this important matter of the day here. It's one of the most important decisions that many of us will make on this Monday. Tim, you've heard Ronnie. How do you stack these?
I was really trying to find a great photo of Willie Nelson because, Ron, I thought for sure I don't know, sheer nostalgia.
Nope. I don't like traditional country music at all. Like, at all.
You don't like Johnny Cash?
Nope.
He's done a couple of duets, though. I don't know. Willie? He's a little too political for me at times. Yeah, throw it at him. And forgive my framing. I'm trying to pimp the show and the new YouTube channel. We definitely need some people to sign up there. Seattle, save our Sonics. Ricky, go ahead. Hit it. Go ahead. See if you can
Here,
hit
let
it.
me catch. I'll catch it, Ricky.
Oh, almost.
Damn it.
Save our
You
Sonics.
don't like Johnny Cash? Ron, we're all entitled to our opinion. And, I give you shit. It's all in good fun. But you should consider, I hate to be the person that somebody says that they don't like something, but then they're determined that you should like it so much. It's like the Star Wars people.
Right.
Like, I don't like Star Wars. And then everybody was telling me why I should like it. And you're not going to make me like it, right? And the more that people tell you that you should like something, the more that you kind of resist. So you probably feel that way. But, man, Johnny Cash, even more than Willie Nelson, I almost want to send you like a couple of songs.
Nope.
And just say, hey, dude, just listen to these.
I mean, you can.
You've heard his prison albums, Ron, live?
I mean, I've heard the Folsom song, but
If you listen to the whole show, it's pretty epic. That and San Quentin are pretty good. Like, they have actual recordings, and you can hear some of the prison guard chatter in the background, the PA, and they definitely. It's interesting. It's a great moment in time. Johnny Cash, all day, every day. He's on the Rushmore in my mind of this show. Anyway. I always do my own laundry, motherfuckers, so I'm never finding money in the pocket. I'm a weirdo. I check my pockets 3 times over. I don't want anything stuck in there. But I do agree, Ron, finding money in the jacket that hasn't been worn for 6 months is pretty good. But for me, man, it's got to be ice cream sandwiches, slightly melted.
You like the basic one, or do you like the elevated like I was talking about?
Pure basic, man. Pure basic, all day, every day. And lately, I like it with a cup of coffee. When I'm going to break my
you know what?
diet here.
I don't think that's crazy. I don't like coffee, but I see where you're coming from. You ever get crazy into a Neapolitan one? That's kind of the basic one.
Yeah, I have. Yes, it's not bad. I don't know. It tastes a little foamy to me when it comes to Neapolitan. What do you got, Ricky? Besides a new YouTube channel.
Yeah, we've got a new YouTube channel, The Ricky Cobb Show. Check it out, please. We're very excited about it. This is the first show of the Ricky Cobb Show channel era here. Ron, it's interesting to me. You don't like Johnny Cash or Willie Nelson, but you understand why somebody would want to drink a cup of coffee while they eat an ice cream sandwich.
Well, hey, to be fair,
sounds terrible to me.
No, to be fair, listen, I understand why people like Johnny Cash and I understand why people like Willie Nelson. I just don't. Now, there are some artists that I do not understand why people like your favorite Bob Dylan. Like he's all he does is mumble. I don't get the allure to Bob Dylan. I do get the allure to Willie Nelson.
How are you guys friends?
That's very rude of you.
How are you guys friends? Hold on a minute. Are you sure you're friends?
I don't like the way you talk about my songs.
Yeah, that's Bob Dylan right there.
But how can you be friends?
Over Bob Dylan and a couple musical artists?
Bob Dylan is like Ricky's guy. It's like,
yeah.
I mean, after the
Ricky's
Beatles.
Guy. Ricky can see me 25 times.
That's pretty good.
He's making my case.
I don't know. How does it feel, Ron, to be wrong about everything? All right, so look, Seattle Supersonics, I've got a pretty good record of boosting them. I went up in the Space Needle a few years ago, and I remember thinking to myself, I'm inside the Sonics logo right now. So Willie Nelson is great as far as I'm concerned. I saw him years ago at the Kentucky State Fair at Cardinal Stadium. Ice cream sandwiches, I don't know. My girls left some behind from the previous weekend when they were here, and I didn't even tap into it. Not even when I was high, Ron. So I guess that's not it for me. Finding money in the laundry is always good. Unlike you, Tim, I do my own laundry as well, but I'm such a fucking mess that I'm just hoping that I don't find, Kleenex tissue in there. That's always the worst, is when you miss a tissue and it fucking goes everywhere and you gotta pick it out of everything. So yeah, that too. So for me, it comes down to the Sonics and Willie Nelson. And Willie, I love you, but God bless you. I'm riding with downtown Freddie Brown and the Seattle Supersonics today.
Wow. Bigger NBA guy than I realized. NBA was different in the 80s. We can fire it.
That era, for sure. I'm expecting one of those two to win.
Pretty close.
And I'm wrong. And that's a pretty good poll again, too. Look at that.
Ice cream sandwiches, baby.
Yeah, all day, every day.
Right there in the 20 to 30 range. We've had some really pretty reasonable polls here, for the quadruple 25. It's starting to make me think that maybe the unattainable dream is actually attainable if we put our minds to it here in season 2 of the Ricky Cobb Show. Ice cream sandwich is going to win. Finding Money in the Laundry and Willie Nelson are going to duke it out for the silver medal today, and it looks like my beloved Seattle Supersonics are going to come in last. With that said, gentlemen, I think that now would be a good time to take it to a break. But before we do, let's throw up the graphic again, and let's remind you all that the Ricky Cobb Show is now on YouTube on its own channel. So when you go looking for content from the show, you're going to find it all conveniently in one place, and the archives will be filling up. Right now, we do not have a lot of archived content up there, but we're going to put everybody on that task. We'll be posting some of the greatest interviews, some of the best moments, show highlights. I think we're even going to, if I'm not mistaken, Tim, we're even going to have some of it categorized by the type of content. So
not the first week or so. Not the first week or so. Yep, right. But absolutely, it'll all be there.
But yeah, as we go forward, so basically, come and move in with us, subscribe, and we're going to keep building the house out while you're in it with us, is basically what it amounts to. So again, that's the Ricky Cobb Show channel on YouTube. So while you go and subscribe to that, we're going to take a short break here. And when we come back, I'm going to be joined by the voice of the Los Angeles Chargers. Matt Money Smith joins the program, and we'll be talking NFL right after this, straight ahead, right here on the Ricky Cobb Show.
This fall, you're not just watching the biggest game in college football.
You're at the game.
Bama versus Georgia.
September 27th, Athens.
Outkick's giving one lucky fan and a guest a VIP treatment
This is your shot
to punch your ticket to the college football weekend of a lifetime.
Flights covered.
Hotel covered.
Game tickets, of course.
We're also hooking up 10 more fans with Outkick hats, and everyone who enters gets a discount to the Outkick shop.
No purchase necessary.
Just hit outkick.com/sweepstakes.
College football weekend of a lifetime. Outkick.com/sweepstakes.
Does anybody, is he going to have to stroke a check? Has anything like that happen as far as messing up anybody's houses in here?
He didn't. I did not hear any glass break. I did hear him say, please don't watch my shot. Don't look at that shot. But, he did well.
Landon, what did you think of the overall experience?
With all these live professionals and live golfers out here, their games didn't seem to impress me when I was caddying for Dan. He's easily the best golfer here at Chapman Hills. He's a great guy.
We're here with Dan's golf coach, Lee.
Yes.
How was today?
Up and down. I'm going to say up and down. I think first 9, Dan played really well. He did. And then got a little shaky towards the end there. Putting was way off. He's usually a better putter. Putting was way off. But you know what? Great day. A lot of good people. Had fun. And I have to say, as soon as I didn't have to be his caddy anymore, he may have started playing better.
I will say, the live experience, it seemed like every 3 or 4 holes there was a bar set up. Do you think once we kind of got to the bars, that played a pretty big impact as far as Dan's game?
It may have. I'm not gonna confirm that one way or the other.
We're here with the man of the hour, Dan Dockich. You just finished 18 holes. Dan, how are you feeling?
I feel great. I tell you what, it makes you feel like a big guy. You're inside the ropes. You're playing like a set-up championship course. I hit the ball good, couldn't putt, but what a great time. My wife was there, Landon was there, great pros. What a great day. Thanks to everybody at Outkick for letting me do it, get me in this thing. Yeah, I don't know. The overestimation of I got tired. I'm not going to lie, Davey. I don't know, the bars and all that. I did take a shot. Actually, I took 2 shots because my back started hurting. Here's what happens when you get old. I told my wife, I go, man, I'm getting stiff as I walk. I don't know. And I think when I went in the hot box, there was a bathroom that was in the sun, and I went in it, and I came out, and I was drenched with sweat. I'm like, oh, don't go in there, fellas. But thanks for coming out. That was a great day, and I got to lose my stomach. The stomach, it's got to go. Stomach has got to go. Too much stomach.
Nah, Dan, we had a great time. It was a lot of fun. And, following around, you had some great interviews. We're going to have some more content coming out later. I know we got an interview we're about to play, but it was a good time. Yeah, it's the way in which Lee answered that question I thought was great because I had to go away for a bit, so I didn't know if things got off the rails while Ryan and I were away while y'all were, I guess, playing. I think it was around holes 1 through 5.
Started out really well in the back, and I did shank 2. Like, I shanked 1 on the front, and then on 8, I shanked 1 off the tee. But the beauty is we were playing a shambles, so you got to, play the best drive. But I think I needed to start drinking before the round. I think that was more important. I think, oh, man, I was telling Lee, I go, damn. And you should have seen, by the time we were done,
The NFL season is just over a week away, and who better to join us to help us break it down, get ready for the season than the man who is the play-by-play announcer for the Los Angeles Chargers. He's the co-host of Petros and Money, our friend Matt Money Smith. Matt, how's it going?
It's great, man. It's good to be back with you, Ricky. It is incredibly hot in Southern California right now. To see you in a Les Habitants sweater is making me sweat a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
Well, we can have wishful thinking of cooler weather. I've had enough heat in Chicago this year. We've had a humid summer here. It's a little hot in Los Angeles too, Matt, with the NCAA sanctions coming down on the University of Michigan. Of course, Jim Harbaugh getting another show cause ban. They tacked 10 years onto the one that he already was dealing with. He now has a show cause that goes through, I think, 2038. I doubt that he's super concerned with that since he has his designs on a Lombardi trophy. But what has the mood been there with Jim Harbaugh around the team as this news came down from the Spygate, Signalgate scandal that happened at Michigan?
Yeah, I'll be honest, Rick. It's no news. He's not letting it be. He will not comment on it. He didn't comment on anything through the Connor Stallions kind of conversation and what was going on there. And I think, selfishly for Charger fans, they love Harbaugh. Harbaugh's been great in his first season. He's been great so far through this training camp. The players absolutely love him. And, I think that's sort of and that's one of the things I think is good about kind of the way they've approached this is those future Michigan classes aren't going to get impacted in the postseason by it. These kids that had dreams of growing up playing for Michigan are still going to be able to play for Michigan, make a run at a natty, and that's the way it should be. And in the case of Coach, I have no idea what went on there. I do stuff for the Chargers. Obviously, I'm a coworker of his. So, with what he's offered, I'll just kind of take it where he's at. And that's, hey, I'm here. We're trying to win a Lombardi. And that's sort of where my head is. There's always, look, Michigan's a huge program, right? It's a blue blood program. So I think those questions are going to continue to maybe present themselves, especially when he hits the road. But I think as far as it goes here, we're used to him now. And when he puts up a roadblock, it's not coming down. And that's sort of the way he's operated as a head coach since he's been here.
Well, that's the way he's chosen to handle it, and I suppose probably the most effective because once you start talking about it, you just end up going to places that are only going to be a distraction. And he's got a job that he's focused on right now in Los Angeles, and of course that is getting the Chargers as far into the playoffs as possible. Last year, 11-6, second in the AFC West. A lot of good things. Are these Chargers poised to potentially take the next step this year, Matt?
I felt like they were when Slater was healthy, when they signed Becton and he was healthy and out there with Joe Alt, and you could see the vision. We want to be the bully. We want to be the bully of, if Andy Reid is the scheme it up, offensive genius, and Patrick Mahomes is, the guy that's going to extend plays and find those explosives, then we're going to be the team that punches you in the mouth in this division. And you could see it. You could see it by who they signed in the offseason for that interior of the defensive line, and Deshaun Hand and Naquan Jones, and they draft Jamari Caldwell, this 340-pound guy. And so it was coming together. And I think the moment that Rashawn Slater went down, you recognize how hard it is to operate in the NFL, because they're just, those guys don't exist. Toughness and smart and athleticism. I mean, that's what you need to have an elite offensive line. And once you lose one of the best, I think it just throws everything up in the air. Now, they're all right because they have Joe Alt, who slides to the left side, and he'll probably still be one of the 5 best left tackles in the league. He's that good in his second year. But I just feel like with the injury to Mekhi Becton for the last 3 weeks, it's kind of thrown that vision into a bit of a tizzy. And if they can figure it out here before they have cut downs tomorrow, and maybe there's a trade out there and they can bolster the depth of that offensive line, I'll feel a lot better about them sort of taking at least an incremental step from where they were last year, because the rest of the roster I like. I think Herbert has now got more weapons with Keenan Allen back, with the guys they drafted, with the tight ends they signed and drafted, with the running back they tried. Just, it feels like there's so much more around him this year than last year. But man, that O-line, I would just feel a lot better if they could figure some things out before they get to Brazil on September 5th.
Well, Matt, as we look around the league here, and it's nice to be able to say that the NFL season gets started next week. That's just psychologically a boost for a lot of us, I think. As you're looking around the rest of the league, what are some of the storylines, some of the things that we're going to see developing early in the year that you're watching most closely and with interest at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, it's probably local bias for me, but you look at the AFC West, and it's a team that put 3 teams into the playoffs last year, including one that repped the conference in the Super Bowl, and the Chiefs. And I think the Chiefs are as good, if not better. You're never going to count them out. Now with Patrick Mahomes making 7 straight AFC championship games and winning 3 Super Bowls, I think the Broncos are way better on paper from a personnel standpoint, especially defensively with some of the holes they plugged over there. Another year in the system. I think J.K. Dobbins is a heck of a runner. We saw it here if he's able to stay healthy. I loved R.J. Harvey in the draft, so I feel like they're better. And like I said, you got the Chargers as well. So that's where I'd start. And then, just early storylines. Look, it's impossible not to look at Pittsburgh, right? I mean, Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. He makes the playoffs. They have arguably the best defense on paper. Is that going to work? Like, is Mike Tomlin and Arthur Smith, who are toughness personified, who are no-nonsense guys, is it going to work with Aaron Rodgers, who's on the wrong side? I mean, we say guys are on the wrong side of 30. He's on the wrong side of 40. So that to me is another big one. And I think arguably, the most talented roster. To me, I'm just focusing solely AFC because I'm just thinking of what a gauntlet this is going to be. I think arguably the most talented roster in the league is in Baltimore. How much it felt like things were getting a little weird with John Harbaugh a couple of years ago before he made the run to the AFC Championship game. And then I think, Josh Allen is sort of in that, look, he's a step ahead of Herbert, but he's still in that conversation like, hey, man, you've lost to Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs every single time you guys have crossed paths. Are you going to figure this thing out and get over that hump? Because everyone's saying that you're the most talented quarterback in the league now. So to me, the AFC is wild, man. It is a wild place where good luck figuring out which 7 teams are going to be able to punch that ticket.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, Matt, because, as you said, it's not clear, and there's a lot of teams that you can make an argument for there that are interesting in the AFC. Let's switch over to the NFC for a second. Yeah. Obviously, the Eagles are looking poised to make a strong run towards repeating. Of course, that's a lot easier said than done. As you look at the other teams in the NFC, Jaden Daniels, such an incredible rookie season that he had. They just signed Terry McLaurin. They got that taken care of, 3 years, $96 million. The Lions, obviously, they got to replace both of their coordinators. after that incredible season that they had last year that came up short of, I'm sure, what they thought they were going to be able to do. As you look around the NFC, what are the storylines there, and how do you think the top contenders stack up?
Well, I'm going to go with the team you started with, Ricky. The Eagles just look like a buzzsaw. I mean, they look like they are so far ahead of everybody else. What Howie Roseman has done, the depth that he has built, the ability to take, the hits of a Milton Williams leaving and just not even flinch because they've got 5 other guys on the defensive line. Like, he has just done and that offensive line is the best in the league. They've got a quarterback that is as tough as nails. That now, especially now that he has the Super Bowl, you hear just the stories about Jalen Hurts as a leader, as a tone setter. They're tough, man. And you got Saquon. Like, I don't want to do the whole name salad thing, but I think you just look at that team, and from a starting talent standpoint, from a depth standpoint, no one's close. Like, nobody is close. So if they are the prohibitive favorite to me. Now, if you look at the rest of the NFC, I think the next one that pops into my brain is the Rams. I think if Matthew Stafford's healthy, and that's a big if, he's had neck, shoulder, back. He was slow, but to me, like, the Rams aren't giving him that extension when he's sniffing around and there were deals on the table, reportedly from the Raiders, from the Giants, that he would have gladly taken before they met the number that he wanted to stay. And with their medical, with how well they know him, he's not coming back. They're not giving him that deal if they're really concerned about that back. So I'm operating under the idea that he's good, that he's going to be out there. And to me, when you have him, and now you add Devontae Adams to Puka Nacua to the Sean McVay play calling, they're always good defensively, and just what they were able to do with, like, the fact that Jared Verse slid to them is crazy. And they've done it. And that's everyone talks about, he's on a rookie deal. And now you have this opportunity to build all this talent around him. Like, look what the Rams have done with the veteran quarterback making $50 million a year and building that defensive side of the football with all this young talent. So to me, I think they're going to come in right behind them. The Niners are interesting because there's not a lot of depth there, man. If they stay healthy, they're fine. But you look at their, like, right behind what they got going, starting, it's like, ooh, that can get thin in a hurry. So to me, that's where I look. I'm with you on the Lions. Ben Johnson was doing some pretty incredible things, man. Now, Dan Campbell sets the culture, right? And I think that always carries through. That to me is probably more important than someone that's calling plays. You can certainly take it, but I think just establishing the culture, how are we going to play? What type of players do we bring in? That to me carries through. They're still an incredibly talented team. But yeah, I just feel like, man, the NFC is that Eagles team is crazy good, like crazy good.
NFC question for you here. Micah Parsons. It's getting, not a great scene in Dallas with this situation. How do you think this is going to play out with Micah Parsons down in Dallas and the status that we have there with the contract situation?
I just don't see it any other way than he's playing there. They're both parties seem to be pretty stubborn and dug in, but look, the NFL affords ownership, the hammer of 3 years, like you said, a 5th-year option plus 2 franchise tags. That's 3 years that there is nothing you can do. And if they want to just extract 3 years out of him, they'll do it if that's what it takes. I think, look, David Muget is a guy that doesn't mess around as an agent. He reps some of the Charger guys, and I think you saw sort of the tough negotiation that he drove with Derwin and that contract, making him the highest paid safety in the league, despite 2 seasons of pretty significant injury concerns, and he still got it. So, those are 2 guys that are at the top of their game. They're going to fight this thing out. And Micah seems like the kind of guy that's content to let his agent do it and just say, all right, I hired you. I trust you implicitly. You're going to make me. And I think that's the one thing to remember when Jerry Jones says we were going to make him the highest paid non-quarterback in the league. Well, remember, there's a lot of levers there. There's the highest paid on a per year basis. There's the highest paid in guaranteed money. There's the highest paid in total money. There's the highest paid in the first 3 years. Like, those are all things that agents, because it's such a competitive space, that they want. They want to check all the boxes. Like when the Chargers re-signed Rashawn Slater, they made him the highest paid offensive lineman in the league. And they did it by like $350,000 per year. His guarantee was a little bit lower. His first 3 years were a little bit lower. And so I think that's sort of, an agent's got to be able to hang their hat on something. And so I think in the case of Slater, it's like, okay, you got Tristan Wirfs and you got Trent Williams and you got these other guys out there, and Slater's in that conversation. So we got to get one of these. You've either got to make him the highest pay. In the case of Micah, I think you're like, hey, man, we need two of these things. We need highest annual or highest or something. And so my guess is that's where this thing's at, and they'll get it figured out.
All right, well, the action is upon us here. A short time, week and a half away from kickoff. This man will be on the call all season, as he is always for the Los Angeles Chargers. Matt Money Smith, we appreciate you on this program every time we have you on. Thank you, and good luck to the Lightning Bolts this year as you guys try to build on a very encouraging 2024 season.
I appreciate it, Ricky. Maybe I'll talk to you from Brazil, since that's where we're starting. Sao Paulo, Brazil on September 5th.
We live in a brave new world, don't we?
Yes.
That would have been unthinkable when we were kids. All right. Well, have a good time in Brazil, my friend. Take care, buddy. We appreciate it.
All right, Ricky.
Always fun talking to Matt Money Smith. So Jim Harbaugh's just not going there. No comment is an option, and that's basically the one that Harbaugh has taken, Ronnie. And I suppose that if I were his advisor, that's probably the advice that I would give him, because I don't think rehashing it is really going to be a plus for Jim Harbaugh or for the media around the LA Chargers.
Jim knows what he did. He knows exactly what he did when he goes to sleep at night. He knows what he did, and we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a plus for the media. I misspoke there a bit. I'm sure they would love to talk about it, but
right.
I think Harbaugh got away with it, and now he's in the NFL, and he can just pretend that it never happened, basically. So, what are you looking forward to, Ron? College football is underway, and pro football now. NFL kicks off on the September 4th. So we're really on the eve of the season. I know that you're always excited about Ohio State. What's on your mind right now here as football really starts to swing into gear?
Yeah, obviously Ohio State. I'm going to the game on Saturday against Texas. We had originally we weren't going to go because it is always just blazing hot in Columbus in August, early September. And then we just started monitoring the weather, and dude, are you ready for this? It's going to be 73 degrees for the high on Saturday. And when we saw what the weather was going to be, we're like, okay, we got to go. So Tyler's going to drive down from Chicago. We're going to drive up there, and we're going to go to the game. So I am fired up about that. See if Julian Sand can keep this machine rolling. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I watched some football this weekend, which was fabulous. For the pros, I mean, there's so many storylines. Can the Bengals get off to a decent start this year? I mean, when's the last time they got off to a decent start? The Chiefs that we knew, or are the Chiefs that lost in the Super Bowl by a million?
Every dynasty ends at some point, right,
yeah.
Ron? Matt Money Smith talking about how Pat Mahomes has taken the Chiefs to 7 straight AFC championship games. At some point, that streak is going to be broken, and I don't know. It could be this year. They showed some. I mean, for a team that had such a good record last year, they also showed a few little, vulnerabilities.
They had a good record, man, but they were one of those. It was one of those good records that was like, something goes a tiny bit this way, and now all of a sudden they don't have a good record. I mean, they won a ton of close games, which is credit to them. I mean, that's what winning teams do.
Yes.
But it was a lot of games that they did that.
Yeah.
I'm also looking forward to
get away with that again.
I'm looking forward to I guess next week you and I start making our picks again to see who's going to get punished.
We've got to finalize the wager this week. If we have left any
I thought it was we had to buy a Me Bounds sweatshirt and wear it on the air.
Okay. All right. If Angel Reese merch is the bet, we can proceed with that.
Yeah, so it's going to cost us money, and you're going to have to wear it. Yeah. So it's a double whammy.
I'm not planning to lose, Ron. Is all I can tell you. I'm planning to come back and win again. So. Well, I am. You know, I'm the knowledgeable source to give people a counsel on what they should do with their prize picks. All right, Ronnie, we are going to take it to a break now, and when we come back, there is a new sheriff in town among collectible sports cards, value-wise. A card going for just a shade under $13 million, breaking the record that was set by a 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle. We've got that for you when we come back. And of course, I'll be asking Ronnie the question that I love to ask him each day of the week. And it will all happen straight ahead right here, right after this on The Ricky Cobb Show.
This fall, you're not just watching the biggest game in college football.
You're at the game.
Bama versus Georgia.
September 27th, Athens.
Outkick's giving one lucky fan and a guest a VIP treatment.
This is your shot
to punch your ticket to the college football weekend of a lifetime.
Flights covered.
Hotel covered.
Game tickets,
of course.
We're also hooking up 10 more fans with Outkick hats, and everyone who enters gets a discount to the Outkick shop.
No purchase necessary.
Just hit outkick.com/sweepstakes.
College football weekend of a lifetime. Outkick.com/sweepstakes.
National championship winning head coach Tommy Tuberville.
Congratulations.
Auburn 2004. It is official, the acceptance of the national championship at Auburn. There it is, the claiming it, Coach, from 1910 to 2004. Would you like to give your championship winning speech here in the press conference?
Well, thank you. 21 years late. You know, I was on 3 national championship teams at Miami, and that was as good as football team as I've ever been around. I think we had 5 first-round draft picks.
Yes.
I actually bought all the players and all the coaches that year a national championship ring because we couldn't done anything else. We went undefeated, and unfortunately, we got left out of the 2-team playoff with USC.
Show us that ring again, if you don't mind.
I want to see that again.
All right. There it is.
Yeah, that's already
Yeah.
it's already been claimed, the title. Yeah, what took so long? Why 21 years later?
Well, you know, I complained at the time because obviously Oklahoma got beat very badly in the Orange Bowl against USC, and then USC they caught a couple of players with a hand in a cookie jar, and they took the national championship away from them. And then the NCAA, in their infinite wisdom, says, you know, we're not going to give anybody the national championship. Why in the hell not? I mean, you know, you've got somebody that went undefeated. We beat 4 top 10 teams during the year. We had a great football team. And, you know, it's what college football used to be about, is about kids staying 4th and 5th years. Carnell Williams, Ronnie Brown, Jason Campbell, they all played 5 years, and they stayed at one university. How about that for an oxymoron nowadays? But at the end of the day, you know, thank goodness they recognize it's all for the players and the coaches and the fans that supported us. But it was a great football team, and 21 years later is better than nothing.
What did you make of the NCAA penalties for Michigan that came out the end of last week, and the 10-year show cause? Chad and I have discussed, like, hey, a 10-year show cause for a coach who doesn't seem to want to coach in college football anymore doesn't seem like that big of a deal.
It's not. A typical NCAA, late to the party, late with everything, not enough. Just encourages people to cheat. In the end, that banner's going to hang. You know, Jim Harbaugh's not coming back to college football, so who cares? So that's a nothing penalty. Anyway, it's just, it's you know, it's cheating at the highest level, and it's wrong.
Let's go back to what we were talking about, please, because we don't need teams like this in our college football playoff. It takes away what was so great about expanding where they did. You know, the 12 team, we start arguing over the back end of the playoff last year was great discussion. This is like a watered down week 0 stuff to me.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't get sexually aroused by Syracuse versus Arizona State in a 21-12 matchup?
Rock hard.
Or, an SEC Missouri Ole Miss matchup.
And welcome back to the program, my friends, as we come down the stretch drive here on Monday. And there is a new most expensive sports card, the record. And many of you know the history of the most desirable sports cards. It's the T206 Hannes Wagner. For a long time, the rarest card, the most desirable card. It was the first card ever graded and slabbed by PSA. And no doubt many of you know that the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle has long been considered the holy grail for many collectors, and it was, in fact, a 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle graded 9.5 by SGC. They are the other main authority on graded cards within the sports card industry. Mickey Mantle sold for $12.6 million. That 1952 Topps Mantle, I saw it at the National here in Chicago the last time that the National was here in town, and it was in a big, thick glass case, and it was like being in a museum. You couldn't have put the Constitution in a more secure location. And so just looking at it and thinking, my God. Well, move over Mick, because the new record holder is a 2007 Upper Deck Exquisite dual logo man autograph card of Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan that is numbered 1 of 1. It just sold for $12,932,000, and it is now the most expensive sports card of all time. It's graded a 6, which is excellent mint, which is not the top of the chain. Some of you know 10 is the best you can do, but those are like seeing Bigfoot. 9 is the realistic ceiling. That is considered to be mint. 10 is gem mint. 8 is near mint to mint. 7 is near mint. 6 is good, but it's one of a kind. So that 6 is not going to hold it back here because there's nothing else to compare it to. And there you can see the signatures, Ronnie. Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan on the same card. And I guess it was a group of people who pulled together to buy this card. And one of them happens to be Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank, Kevin O'Leary, Ronnie, who has said that the sports card market is a market that he doesn't see that differently than Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies of other varieties. What do you make of this, Ron? $13 million nearly for a piece of cardboard from 2007.
Yeah, man. I feel like if I was part of that group, I would have been like, when somebody hits a bunch of home, like LeBron and his son, all the points they've scored, right? Bronny's scored what, 9? I'd have given $100, and I've been part of that group.
I would have kicked in $20. Whatever I found in my laundry.
Exactly. But you know what? The reason it sold that
you get
much,
to keep it for 1 hour a year, Ron.
Yeah,
it's
an hour. I don't even
4 to 5 p.m.
Oh, I think if you did
one day in September.
No, I think if you did your back of the envelope math, it'd probably be like 10 minutes is what that would be worth. I think it'd be worth 10 minutes. But I mean, it sold for that much because people were willing to buy it, right? And I mean, it was just obviously O'Leary's just doing it speculatively. Like he probably thinks that's going to sell for 17 million at some point or whatever he thinks. So I guess when you got that much money, you get to mess around like that. I'll never get to mess around like that.
Well, he's probably right if that's what he's thinking. When you look at this industry, it is a one-of-a-kind card. So if anybody wants it, that's the one, because you're not going to pick up a different copy of it. Although I will say, as a guy who collects, there are way too many, and this card is exempted from this because, well, this card is this card, but there are way too many one-of-one cards now. This has become the new gimmick.
Okay.
One of one everything, and they're one-of-oneing themselves into that not even feeling special anymore within this industry, because what happened is they went through an era where they overproduced everything,
right?
So nothing was worth anything. Then they went to the era of very, very high-end products where they were going to control the print run, and you got out of 99, numbered out of 50, numbered out of 25, numbered out of 10, and now there's a lot of one-of-one. So good luck to Mr. Wonderful and his team there. They're out about 13 million. Ronnie, I'm out nothing except for my curiosity and the time that it takes me right now to tilt my head and say, what the fuck, Ron?
So I remember as a kid and even sometimes as an adult, because it was such an anomaly, somebody would spot a hot air balloon up in the sky and everybody would just be mesmerized by it because it's just like, again, it's an anomaly. It's something you don't see very often. Well, imagine if you had just been in Bedford, England over the past few days and you saw this in your neighborhood, Ricky. So this was a quote unquote crash landing.
Thought it was supposed to go higher, Ron. Okay.
Yeah.
At least they're coming down nice and easy.
But it's just one of those things. I mean, I remember, did you remember as a kid, you'd see the Goodyear blimp and just like, oh my gosh, something big's happening in my area. But we would see every once in a while, we'd see a hot air balloon. And I saw this. I'm like, I just can't even imagine, what it would be like just in this little small residential area in England. Because I don't know have you ever been up close to a hot air balloon? They're big. Like they don't look that big in the sky, but man, they're big when they're down on the ground. So anyway.
Look at you breaking the knowledge that things are bigger the closer you get to them, Ron.
So Ricky, it's called perspective.
It's like
so
we need the graphic under you right now. Things look bigger the closer they are.
That's what she said.
You don't understand. When you look up in the sky, Ricky, and you see a hot air balloon, I don't want you to think that it's like about that big. See, that's only because it is thousands of feet away, Ricky. If it was right here in front of you, it'd be bigger than you are, Ricky.
Can we get that?
Believe it.
Can we get that CBS graphic? The more you know.
The more right across the screen. All right. Well, hey, look, we had that one hot air balloon incident here not that long ago where people died. I can't remember where that was. But
would you ride in a hot air balloon?
So
yeah, would you ride in one? I would.
Absolutely not.
Not necessary.
I wouldn't.
Like,
maybe if they gave me a hat with a hot air balloon on it to bribe me.
Yeah.
That I could keep as a souvenir.
Yeah, I would.
No, I probably wouldn't even do it either. No, I wouldn't fucking go near a hot air balloon, man.
No chance.
Absolutely not. I don't understand the unnecessary risks that people take. And you can sit here and you can tell me that it's statistically safe, and I know that that's true, but it's not as statistically safe as not getting in a fucking basket.
In my chair right now, like my chair right now.
With fire being used to propel a giant balloon. No, thank you.
Totally agree.
No, thank you.
Totally
not.
agree.
Not unless it's a life. What is
exactly
it?
like a life flight situation. Yes, life flight situation.
If it's a hot air balloon life flight, which would be probably not a good scenario for anybody involved.
I'm all in on that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll do it then.
We got time for another one, or we're going to go to poll replies?
Tim? That's a question for you, Tim. Let's do it real quickly. No, wait a minute. We're going to poll replies, he says. All right. Hold the next one between your knees, Ron. Let's go to poll replies. Yes. See what people are saying about today's America's poll of the day, that ice cream sandwich is now just opening up a healthy lead. Finding money in the laundry is leaving Willie Nelson behind. And, well, my everything 20% to 30% just went by the boards as the
wow.
Seattle Supersonics are going to drift back into 4th place. Let's see what folks have to say about it. Super 70 Sports Nation. The Moops says that Willie smokes the competition, but not going to lie, an ice cream sandwich sounds really good right now. Willie has definitely knocked back some ice cream sandwiches after smoking. I can guarantee you that. Out there on the Honeysuckle Rose is his tour bus that he enjoys. Jim Kaiser, the poet laureate of Super 70, says if there's one thing that can top sweet ice cream treats, it is cold hard cash. So, not wrong there. You can buy anything you want with cold hard cash. FCS Nation Radio makes it clear that the redheaded stranger is their choice. Mark Sheehan, putting it as simply as it can be put, the Seattle Supersonics. They won the first NBA championship that I can remember. The first NBA Finals that I ever watched, 1979. The Supersonics beat the Washington Bullets to avenge the defeat that the Bullets had given them in 1978. Landon Nolan says finding money in the laundry is great, especially when it's enough to replace the socks I lost in the laundry. Landon, there's never enough money in my laundry to pay for all of the socks that disappear and that should be on milk cartons somewhere. I'll still never understand, as long as I live, where the socks go. Ron, it can't just be me, can it? I'll tell you one time, I went to my drawer one time to get socks. I had like 6 different single socks. None of them matched. You tell me how that's even possible. It's a mystery that I think there are little sock gremlins that show up and just make off with them while you sleep. It's the only explanation that makes any sense. And friends, don't forget the Ricky Cobb Show has its own YouTube channel. In case you've been in a coma for the last 88 minutes, head over to YouTube, the Ricky Cobb Show. You will need to sign up separately. Being signed up to get our content through the Outkick account is not going to help you with this one. You got to go in, find the Ricky Cobb Show on YouTube, sign up there, and then you'll be all set. You'll get everything that we do, everything that we put out, and you'll be able to find all of our content located under one balloon that is full of hot air, and the hot air on this program usually comes from me, I suppose, if we're being honest. Ronnie, a little bit too. Ronnie, thank you as always, my friend. My thanks to Matt Money Smith for joining us today and having a good NFL conversation. My thanks to Molly and Colin in Nashville, to P.A. Jarrett, and of course, producer Tim. He is the best in the business. But most of all, I thank you, you sweet bastards, because without you, we wouldn't have our own YouTube channel and we wouldn't be here. So I appreciate you and I love you. You can find us, as always, at Fox Nation, outkick.com, and YouTube. The podcast is on Apple and Spotify, and you can also find our content on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and X, where you will also find me at Super 70 Sports, tweeting away all day, through the day, into the evening, and oftentimes late at night. Drop by and see me. Otherwise, I get lonely, and let's make a deal. A pinky swear, in fact, that we'll meet back here again tomorrow when we will tee it high and let it fly with another episode of The Ricky Cobb Show.
This fall, you're not just watching the biggest game in college football.
You're at the game.
Bama versus Georgia.
September 27, Athens.
Outkick's giving one lucky fan and a guest a VIP treatment
This is your shot
to punch your ticket to the college football weekend of a lifetime.
Flights covered.
Hotel covered.
Game tickets, of course.
We're also hooking up 10 more fans with Outkick hats, and everyone who enters gets a discount to the Outkick shop.
No purchase necessary.
Just hit outkick.com/sweepstakes.
College football weekend of a lifetime. Outkick.com/sweepstakes.